Assalamu alaikum. So now let's start with the second topic of the gastrointestinal anatomy, that is the layers of anterior abdominal wall. As we know that the abdominal wall is divided into two, the anterior lateral abdominal wall and the posterior abdominal wall. Let's us first go through the layers of anterior abdominal wall, which are seven. The anterior lateral abdominal wall comprises of seven layers, going from superficial to deep. The first layer that is present, known as the skin. The second layer of the anterior abdominal wall is the superficial fascia. The third layer, known as the deep fascia. The fourth layer, the muscular layer, comprising of two muscle group, the lateral group and the anterior group. We'll discuss each of these layers in detail further. The fifth layer, known as fascia transversalis. The sixth layer, known as extra peritoneal fat. The seventh and the last layer, known as the parietal peritoneum. Now let's go through each of these layers one by one in detail and let's discuss about them. So the first layer we have is skin. अच्छा, तो हमारे पास स्किन में क्या क्या होता है? Our skin comprises of hair and sweat glands. The second layer present beneath it is the superficial fascia. The superficial fascia above the umbilicus is the superficial fascia above umbilicus exists as a single layer. Below the level of umbilicus, this superficial fascia is divided into two layers. The campus fascia and the scarps fascia. The campus fascia, which is the fatty layer present superficially, and the scarps fascia, which is the deep membranous layer present beneath the campus fascia. Fatty layer and the deep membranous layer. The significance of the fatty layer is that it provides insulation to the internal organs of our body and serves as a cushion and protects. The significance of the campus fascia is that it provides insulation to the abdominal organs and serves as a cushion. The scarps fascia prevent the extraction of bodily fluid. Moving on to the third layer, which is the deep fascia. Fascia is a thin layer of connective tissue. Thin layer of connective tissue. The deep fascia of anterior abdominal wall forms the external spermatic fascia. The deep fascia extends over the spermatic cords as the external spermatic fascia. Now moving on to the fourth layer, the muscular layer. It comprises of two groups of muscle, the lateral group and the anterior group. The lateral group comprises of 3 muscles and the anterior group comprises of 2 muscles. We'll discuss these in detail. The muscles of the lateral group are external oblique, internal oblique, and transverse abdominis. The muscles of anterior group are rectus abdominis, which is a strap-like muscle extending from the xiphoid process up to pubic symphysis, and an accessory muscle, the pyramidalis. Now, let's go through some of the important points of the muscles of the lateral group. So, first is the external oblique. The aponeurotic part of external oblique, aponeurotic part of external oblique, has a triangular defect known as superficial inguinal ring. It also forms the lacunar and inguinal ligament. The next is the internal oblique. The internal oblique forms are conjoined tendon along the fibers from transverse abdominis, and some of the fibers of internal oblique forms the cremasteric muscle. The significance of the cremasteric muscles is that it helps in the retraction of testes when the medial aspect of the thigh is stroked lightly. This reflex is known as the cremasteric reflex. The transverse abdominis, which is the last muscle of the lateral group, is a sheet that covers our abdominal wall and consists of horizontal fibers. Horizontal fibers. The nerve supply of lateral group, uh, the nerve supply of the muscle of lateral group are the lower thoracic nerve, lower 5 thoracic nerve, subcostal nerve, and the iliohypogastric nerve. So the muscles of lateral group are supplied by the lower 5 thoracic nerves, subcostal nerve, and the iliohypogastric nerve. The muscles of anterior group are supplied by the intercostal nerve and subcostal nerve. The rectus abdominis, which is a long strap-like muscle, has tendinous intersection that gives it the characteristic six-pack appearance. Six-pack appearance, which is more prominent in lean people and usually in males. These tendinous intersections also indicate that the muscles have arises from different myotomes. Now, moving on to the fifth layer, which is the transversalis fascia or the fascia transversalis. It is also a layer comprising of thin layer of connective tissue. Within this layer, the transversalis fascia has an opening known as the deep inguinal ring that allows the spermatic cord and round ligament of uterus to pass through. It also extends over the spermatic cord as internal spermatic fascia. So, superficial inguinal ring was formed by external oblique. The aponeurotic part of external oblique has a triangular defect which forms the superficial inguinal ring, and the deep inguinal ring is formed by the transversalis fascia. The internal spermatic fascia is formed by the fascia transversalis, which extends over the spermatic cord, and the external spermatic fascia was formed by the deep fascia of abdominal wall. The sixth layer, which is the extraperitoneal peritoneal fat, the thin layer of connective tissue. Thin layer of connective tissue covering the parietal peritoneum, and the last in the innermost layer, the parietal peritoneum, which is the last and the innermost layer of the anterior abdominal wall, lines the abdominal cavity. Lines the abdominal cavity. So that concludes our lecture on the layers of anterior abdominal wall. Now let's go through the Mac-Clanber notes for a quick revision. Let's have a quick recap of our lecture on layers of anterior abdominal wall. The anterior abdominal wall comprises of 7 layers, going from superficial to deep: skin, superficial fascia, deep fascia, muscular layer, transversalis fascia, extraperitoneal fat, and the parietal peritoneum. The skin comprising of hair and sweat gland, the superficial fascia, which is located beneath between skin and muscles of anterior abdominal wall and is divided into 2 layers below umbilicus. Above the umbilicus, it exists as a single layer. Below the umbilicus, it is divided into the superficial fatty layer known as the campus fascia. The campus fascia is found to be thick in females because of more fat deposition, and is continued as superficial fascia of thigh and superficial perineal fascia. Super campus fascia की significance क्या थी? That it provides thermal insulation and serve as a cushion to absorb and dissipate physical impact. It acts as a protective covering. Now the second layer is the Scarps fascia, which is the deep membranous layer. It continues into the perineum as Cooley's fascia, in the scrotum as Darto's fascia, in the penis as superficial fascia, which forms a tubular sheet. It is also firmly attached to linea alba and fuses with the fascia lata of thigh, which is the deep fascia of thigh. It has the clinical significance of scarf fascia is that it limits the bodily fluid extravasation. As you can see here in this picture, it is taken from Snell's. So, the superficial fascia is existing as a single layer above the umbilicus, and below the umbilicus it is dividing into 2 layers: the fatty layer, campus fascia, and the membranous layer, the Scarps fascia. The campus fascia is continuing into the region of thigh as the superficial fascia of thigh and superficial perineal fascia. You can also observe the 2 layers here, the fatty layer and the membranous layer. The membranous layer extending around the penis as the tubular sheet, in the scrotum as the Darto's fascia, and here in the perineum as Cooley's fascia. Now, the third layer, which is the deep fascia, it is a thin layer of connective tissue and extend over the spermatic cord as external spermatic fascia. The muscular lobe consisting of 2 groups of muscle: lateral group, fat muscle group, also known as fat muscle group, going from superficial to deep: the external oblique, internal oblique, transverse abdominis, and the anterior group, which is the strap muscle group, consisting of rectus abdominis and pyramidalis. Pyramidalis, which is a small accessory muscle present in front of the lower part of rectus abdominis and is usually absent. Each muscle of the anterior lateral abdominal wall has 2 parts: the epididymic part and a muscular part. Now, let's go through the muscles of the muscular layer in detail. The external oblique is the longest and the most superficial muscle of the lateral group, supplied by the lower 5 thorax nerve, subcostal nerve, and the iliohypogastric nerve. The direction of fibers, which is a very important point from the point of MCQs, that it has an hand and pocket direction. The fibers are directed downward, forward, and medially. Action of the external oblique is bilateral contraction and unilateral contraction. Within the aponeurotic part of external oblique, we have a triangular defect known as the superficial inguinal ring. The spermatic cord and the round ligament of uterus passes through here. It is the exit point of inguinal canal. The aponeurotic part also forms the inguinal ligament and lacunar ligament. You can see here the inguinal ligament here extending from anterior superior iliac spine up to the pubic symphysis. This ligament here is the inguinal ligament and the lacunar ligament here. ये छोटा सा ligament that you can observe here is the lacunar ligament, which is an extension from medial end of inguinal ligament. As you can see here in this diagram too, the ligament extending from anterior superior iliac spine up to the pubic tubercle is the inguinal ligament, and from the medial aspect of inguinal ligament, then we have a small ligament extending towards the near the pubic tubercle is the lacunar ligament. Now moving on to the internal oblique, which is also a broad thin muscular sheet supplied by the same nerves as external oblique, and the fibers are the direction of fibers of internal oblique is opposite to that of external oblique, that are upward, forward, and medially. These fibers run at a right angle of that of external oblique. The actions are the same: bilateral contraction and unilateral contraction. The internal oblique forms the conjoint tendon, which is a strong fiber strand, and it all some of the fibers of the internal oblique contribute to the cremastic muscle. The cremastic muscles help to regulate the temperature of the testes by contracting it and pulling it closer to the body. As you can see here, these is external oblique, and some of the fibers of external oblique are looping around the spermatic cord and forming the cremastic muscle. And here you can observe the conjoint tendon, which is formed by the fibers of the aponeurotic part of internal oblique and transverse abdominis. Both of these contribute and forms the conjoint tendon. Transverse abdominis, the most deep muscles of the lateral group of anterior lateral abdominal wall, supplied by the lower 5-thoracic, subcostal, iliohypogastric, and ilioinguinal nerve. The direction of fibers of the transverse abdominis are horizontal. It is a sheet that covers It is a sheet-like muscle present deep to the internal oblique, consisting of the horizontal fibers. Action of transverse abdominis is bilateral contraction and unilateral contraction. Rectus abdominis, the muscle of the anterior group, is a long strap muscle extending from the xiphoid process and the costal cartilage of ribs 5 and 7, extending up to the pubic symphysis and pubic crest. It consists of tendinous intersections that divide the rectus abdominis into distinct segments, which represent the lines of fusion of myotomes. The direction of fibers of rectus abdominis are straight, as it is a vertical muscle supplied by the intercostal nerve and the subcostal nerve. The intercostal nerve T7 and T12 and the subcostal nerve T12. The tendinous intersection of rectus abdominis give the characteristic six-pack appearance. The rectus abdominis is enclosed within the aponeurosis of external oblique, internal oblique, and transverse abdominis, known as the rectus sheet. The lateral margins of the rectus abdominis are known as linea semilunaris, which are curved ridges. That concludes our lectures on the layer of anterior abdominal wall. The notes for these lectures would be available on the Instagram page of Mad Climbers.